Hey, welcome back to Hosen Shop. Today we're going to bore out this piece of ironwood for this sword. This is called a hidden tang, and I want to make this go on top of here to, as you guessed, hide the tang. I'm going to show you guys how to measure it out and use a drill press or a hand drill to get her done. Alright, so to get your measurement of this, I know it's not perfectly square, but I'm going to have to work with it. So, it's about 1.5 inches wide. So you find your halfway mark. I've already done this. So there's a cat rubbing on my leg. Hello, cat. So halfway is going to be 3/4. Right there. Go to the other side. Also 1.5 inches. So you mark it at the 3/4 mark. Just like that. Use your ruler, or this is a yardstick, doesn't matter, as a straight edge to get that line how you need it. So that one, I already marked it, so I'm a little confused. So that's 1.25 inches. So the half mark is 5/8. If you need to calculate that, it's just 1.25 and then divide by 2, or 1 1/4 divided by 2. That's just math. I just work with decimals a little bit better. So back to 1 1/4, or 1.25 divided by 2 is 0.575, I think. Right there is your middle mark. And then same thing. Mark it just like that. Now you measure how wide your tang is. So it's just a little shy of 3/4. So I make it 3/4 to give it room to slide down on the tang. Then divide 3/4. 0.75 divided by 2 is 0.375. So from here, make your mark. 3/8 over here, 3/8 over there. And if you tell, that's exactly how wide the tang is. Okay, so this is a drill press, and this is a drill press vise, or a machinist vise sometimes, as they're known as. I put it in there, just get it pretty nice and tight, but you don't want to crush it. But you make sure you don't want it to slide or slip or move, or you'll bore a hole through the side of your wood and then your piece is ruined. So get a drill bit that's a little bit wider than your tang, or the thickness of the tang. It'll leave room for epoxy, it'll leave room for any mistakes, and it'll slide on just a little bit easier. And the same thing with a hand drill, but you're just going to hold it up above and just go slow and as you can and punch a hole right through the middle of this piece of wood. All right, here we go. I do one side. You got to go slow with ironwood. It's so dense and so hard. See it smoking? Get that one, a little stick. Get the crap off of there. Take your time. Pull it out. I use a stick because sometimes brushes get caught in the drill bit and it rips it out of your hand, and that is not a good time. Slow, just a couple more inches. Let the bit cool down, because if it gets hot it could break, and then it shortens the life of your drill bit. Pull it out, get all the tailings, I guess you'd call it. A little bit at a time, not much. Alright, so if the drill bit does get hot like this as it's smoking, take some WD-40. Like that, it cools it down. Don't breathe that smoke in, it's probably not good for you. I like the way it smells though. Alright, and just go back through. Ironwood is a crazy hard wood. It doesn't float, and I think it's one of the harder woods on the planet. It's hard to work, it dulls your tools, but the end product, it just takes such a beautiful, wonderful shine. It makes it so worthwhile using it. See if you saw it again, so we're going to spritz it off just a hair. All right, now we're through. and then clean off the top. Then I go to the other side. Try to keep your holes lined up. Makes your life a little bit easier in the long run. Just nice and slow. Let your drill bit do the cutting. Get the crap off. A little bit more. A little bit more. And just a nice amount of pressure. You don't want to drill into it, like put all your weight into it, or you could split the wood, especially with working smaller stuff like this. Ironwood, I don't think you'd have to worry about, but say if you're doing like a cedar or redwood handles, they're very pretty, but they're very soft. It could split. Or you break your drill bit and then you punch your knuckles into your vise, which really hurts. We're almost there. Just pull all that crap out. There we go, we're through. Now, the next trick is try to get right in the center. And this, just go really slow. Alright, the drill bit's hot, so more WD-40. And I try to like slide it back and forth just a little bit. It's probably not the smartest thing to do, but I use the drill bit kind of like a milling machine bit. Just go back, cut back and forth. I'm only using just a very tip, because that's the sharpest part of the drill bit. And that's the part that does all the cutting. Just go back and forth. And let the drill bit do the cutting. Don't force it. Hello, Benny. Weimaraners have a bad habit of being in every shot, every picture, every video, all time. Anytime you take one. Come on. Yeah, this bit's getting dull. Could also be getting hot, so more WD-40. Yeah, there we go. Much better. Yeah, she's actually pretty dull, but should be enough to finish this piece of wood. Alright, so the vise got a little bit loose, so I'm going to tighten it up again. This is a lot easier than doing it by hand. Splitting the wood and then cutting it out with a chisel. Just a little bit at a time. I'm going to have to lift it up a little bit. There we go. Can't be too much more. Cutting. How much more is there? Come on. There we go. And it's all the way through. Lift it up. Make sure your hands are clear. Shut it off. Take it out. Tap it. Brush it off. And then can you see through? Not like that. You might need a little bit of touch-up work with the file. I'll show you that right now. All right, so it doesn't quite fit, which I kind of expect. I've never had one actually go on the first try. So take it, put your blade to the side, stay, put it in a vise. You can put it up at an angle, whatever's most comfortable for you. Get it tight, but not too tight because you don't want it to crush. Get yourself a file like this, a little square file. And what you're going to do is try to square up and open the hole so your tang will fit through. It's a little bit tedious, but if you want the absolute best fit that you can, go with the file. I mean, the drill press will work, but you don't want a handle that's just full of epoxy, and you just keep going back and forth, squaring the holes up. Work all four sides. All right, so I got her a lot more square, and just every so often, see, it already fits on a little bit better. You look, I've got a little bit more flat. Back in here. And a lot of this is just trial and error. I mean, just sit there, file a little bit, test it, file a little bit, test it. All right, we're going to test it. That doesn't fit at all. Why? And then you can look down the hole right here, and you can see where it kind of binds up, and then you can judge where to file. Stay. When you're putting this on, trying to get it to test fit, don't force it. If it's not going to fit, it's going to break apart your piece, and there goes however many hours of work you have into it. This has taken me 25 minutes, but I'm very lazy and I don't want to have to do it again. Okay, so I got that piece fitted. Now I'm going to do full assembly of the guard minus the pommel. I don't have that made yet, so here's my guard. Then I've got a certain grain pattern that I like to follow. So this one was at the top. Nope, I lied. I have this piece of burl wood. It's going to go at the top. Then I got a piece of copper. I like to do just the fittings. This one was next. Nope, it goes the other way. I don't know why it does that. Just like that. And then try to always line up the grain. It's just that little attention to detail. So that was just like this. It slides on and fits perfectly. There you go. And that's how you do a hidden tang. Now, one last thought. If you have a completely hidden tang and you won't have a pommel, just only drill down about 3/4 of the way. But the same thing, just drill this side, and then just mill out the middle. And then down to however deep you want to go. And that's how you do it. It's fairly simple, a little time consuming, a little bit of a test of the patience, but it's in a hugely important part of the knife making process. If you guys have any questions, like me on Facebook, ask questions all the time, comment on my videos, like, favorite, subscribe, share my videos. I'm happy to help.